AR-152 Pro. It was sent to me for a test and review, and that's what I'm going to do. For all of you radio dorks, this is the Merge channel. Figure that one out.
This is going to be the Baofeng AR-152 or 152 Pro. Some capabilities. Let's see what's in this box first. Let me do this. Let's see what's in this box. We got ourselves a user manual written in probably okay Chinglish. And that's a wrapper. And let's go with this is a radio. And from what I understand, this is a beefy radio. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, come on now. Oh yeah, look at that. It's got the push to release in the back here. Goes together pretty well. All right, there we go. Let's set that over here. And then what else we got here? Let's see, we got our antenna. This looks like a tactical field antenna of sorts with a hard base. That's pretty cool. We're gonna set that over here. We got ourselves the standard antenna, and this is pretty freaking beefy for, I guess for lack, this is a big ass Baofeng antenna.
That's what she said.
That sucker's over two hands width wide. Wow, that's pretty crazy. And then we have the charging cable, and obviously it's the cylinder. Not super great on that, but we have our mighty, well, you know what it is. Anywho, let's go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. Now, because the antenna is so big, and this is actually a very large radio, this thing is huge compared to most Baofengs. We're gonna take the antenna off of it so that I'll be able to fit it in frame. So out of the box, this is a radio, has a high output. This is 10 watts, it's tri-power levels. Typically the low is around 4 watts, the mid is around 8 watts, and the high is around 10 watts. And that's gonna give you a little bit more extended range. Simply more watts does not mean better range all the time, but it certainly does help. Channel capacity, 1,000 channels.
Channel mode.
Often recognized as zones or banks for easy management and scanning. So 1,000 channels are possible on this that you could program, okay? Multi-band coverage, VHF, UHF. The VHF is 136 through 174 megahertz. The UHF is 400 through 480, and then obviously we've got the, you've got the 520 megahertz, but you have an additional 220 to 260 megahertz, basically the 1.5 meter or the 1.25 meter band. You can transmit and receive on that. The AM band you can only receive, and at between 108 136 megahertz, you got the FM broadcasting, RX. You can only receive that. You can't transmit on it, and for good reason. You got the 76 through 108 megahertz, and they're also receive-only segments. Now, this thing does have a built-in GPS. It supports GPS plus, I'm going to probably say this wrong, but BiDAO GPS for real-time location tracking, position sharing, and navigation. Now, the programming options, obviously you can do, and I need to find a button to push all the time. We're going to push that button all the time to keep the screen on. You can program this via Bluetooth using your phone. There's an app that you can put on your phone to program this thing wirelessly with your phone. No cables are necessary. Also, you can do wireless frequency copying, also known as cloning, between the radios themselves. And you can use the traditional PC software if you want to. Normally, these things are compatible with Chirp. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is, but I think do your research because you can use Chirp to program it, but it comes up as a different kind of radio. It's not going to come up as an AR-152 Pro. You got to find out which one that is. I do not know. I'm not a radio geek. But this thing does have a large battery. It's I'm going to turn it off, and this is going to be it's advertised as 1,200 milliamps. Let's see if that's on there. The BL-152. I don't think it says it on there, but that's what it is. 1,200 milliamps rechargeable lithium-ion battery for multi-day use. Standby mode time, if you run this thing in standby mode, this thing will go 5 to 15 days. With talk time, several days depending on the amount that you use it. But it does support USB-C wall car charging. You just have to get a USB-C to that puppy right there. There's no USB port on this guy right here. At least I'm not seeing any on here. Let me pull this. That one doesn't do anything. But where are we at here? We can hook our headphones to it so we can be super cool. There we go. And then some of the display is a significant change between the Pro and the standard AR-152. This is a 1.77 inch color screen for better visibility of frequencies, menus, and the current radio status. Also, it has NOAA frequencies, emergency weather frequencies, and FM radio alerts. Some additional features that a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about this radio. Let's face it, this is a big, beefy radio. This reminds me of the military M-biters, and they really do design this. I asked for the one in green because I'm not going back to the desert anytime soon, and I just don't need it to be coyote or tan. It does have its transmit button, okay, standard transmit button, and we've got these other two buttons here on the side that we can do different things with. I'm not exactly sure, but there we go. I can start changing things up. Yeah, standard Baofeng menu, but the buttons are bigger. I'm not going to teach you how to program this because it's kind of a waste of time. Oh, what can we do with that? That's a radio.
Really early days. As Amazon's Jassy pointed out, so far chatbots are kind of messy.
We're going to turn that off. All right, so additional features. This screen is very controversial. It's considered to be a high brightness LED, but it also has a high brightness LED flashlight up top. And I guess it's that button. There we go. This is actually an improved light. I'm not a fan of flashlights on radios, but it's one button use and it works. So I'm not going to complain about it. Also, this thing does have Vox or voice activated transmissions, and it does have DTMF encoding and decoding. Also, CTCSS and DCS tones for privacy and repeater access. All you radio dorks, you will know what that is. No one else will. It also does have a dual watch display reception, so we can set it to receive to listen to more than one channel at a single time and then transmit on one of those channels. We can set all of that. But it also does have something that I do not like. I don't want to go into the negative points, but it has what they call a fall tip sensor. And so if you have the radio and you set it like that, you can set it in the menu to where if it goes past a certain degree in angle, it will make a noise. It'll alarm you. So the idea is that if it falls over, that you'll know it'll start making lots of noise until you go find it. You can't make a tactical radio or a tactical looky-loo radio that does that because it gives away your position. It's not super duper smart. So I'm not a fan of that. But it does have voice encryption and some compression. I would say that the encryption on it is very weak. I wouldn't even call it encryption, but that's how it's advertised. And it does have the ruggedized military style design. It is drop dust resistant, but it is not fully waterproof. So don't try to submerge this puppy because it probably won't work anymore. And it does have some audio and accessories. It's got the tactical antenna. It's got I'm not going to talk about the lanyard, but obviously the charger. It does support the speaker mics. We went over that. And you could probably put not only a speaker mic on here, but you could use it for one of the wireless ones that they make. It's just an all-around halfway decent radio. So positive points for the Baofang AR-152 Pro. It retains the same proven functional legacy of the AR-152, housing, the battery, the layout, and overall simplicity. It's very easy and kind of idiot-proof to operate. And I know these things because I deal with some really dumb people. The battery life is very long life. It's a major strength for preparedness issues. Also, the Bluetooth programmable, it kind of allows for on-the-fly programming, and this was a highly requested feature. One-button access to the NOAA radio frequencies via long press scan. I'm not sure which one it is. Which one of these is? I'm not even going to try it. I'm not even going to try it because I didn't even read the instructions for this darn radio. But it does have the built-in GPS. And why didn't I? Because it's a Baofeng. All of these things are the same. It either has a NOAA function or it doesn't, like an old UV5R. This thing does have that built-in GPS. It provides lat-long coordinates and can request or /share locations with other compatible radios used for search and rescue. So you could like, burp, burp, I'm here. Come get me. But it does. One of the key things on this radio is they enhanced the chipset in here. It significantly improved scanning speed and customizable scan parameters via the software, i.e. chip. And then they do have an expanded frequency coverage, including airband in the AM mode, and that goes all the way up to 520 megahertz. They supposedly have really good weather and water resistance. Thanks to the internal rubber gaskets. And it's kind of proven to survive in the rain and flooding and real issues. This is an excellent radio overall for preparedness, quote fingers activated. Maybe some survival, some prepping, natural disaster scenario. And it pairs well as a terminal with a tablet if you are doing data stuff. It has strong value at its price, and it's not that expensive, to be honest with you. Especially for users who are wanting the GPS and scanning features in a simple, long battery radio. This thing is so even if that, you see that? That's the size of a UV5R. That's how much bigger this radio is. And the idea is, I guess it's threefold. One, they wanted to make it look like an M-biter or a dagger, and that's a military radio. And they also wanted to make the buttons bigger, which they much are. And they also wanted to have a huge battery, long battery life. I'm going to say this is probably the battery. This is just part of the case, is my guess. Now, some negative points, because you guys know you're going to get my straight up opinions of things. The LED screen, it's a downgrade for certain issues, and here's why. It doesn't read very well. You can't see it very well if you're using night vision goggles. It kind of appears as a glowing blob. The regular AR-152, this is the Pro model, not the Pro model is what I'm talking about. That one, its screen is readable easily in night vision goggles. So if you're running NVGs or nods, as the operators call them, then you get the 152, not the Pro. All right. Also, there's been a lot of complaints about the screen being not bright enough against direct sunlight. There's a lot of reports that it's not. I haven't had that problem, but I haven't been out running around, running and gunning with a radio. So now the next thing is it's not ideal for a tactical radio simply because of the screen. Another problem is that the GPS outputs only latitude and longitude. Most of the people who like this style of radio, they prefer either UTM or MGRS. It's that easy. Also, the location sharing feature raises some potential communication security concerns in tactical scenarios only, but that feature can be turned off. One of the reviewers would like the DMR digital voice module added, like in the DM32, and this is actually kind of a no-brainer. Once again, this is kind of a technical complaint that a lot of people have talked about, and I think it makes sense. I'm obviously not the first person to ever review this radio. I guess the overall verdict for this particular review is it's solid upgrade for most preppers, survivals users who want the extra features, the GPS, the NOAA, the quick access, better scanning, wide frequency range, 1,000 programmable channels. But the legacy model is still just fine, and it's a little bit less expensive, so you're going to get what you're going to get. Now, if you don't need those new capabilities, this is probably the best suited for preparedness rather than hardcore tactical night vision heavy use. I guess lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't actually look at the menus with you. What do we got here? So let's go to menu. See, this is what I'm saying. You got to play with these things. But radio settings, we got the GPS, we got the fall down alarm, program channels, radio info, And that's about it. That's the menu. That is the base menu. That's going to be about it, guys. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. If you're interested in this, I will put a link in the description for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.